Well, hello and happy Thursday. I hope everything's going well for you this week. I wanted to start off today's little video with a recap from the weekend review last week. And in that news, we had Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, as well as a little Snapchat, but I'll get to that in a minute, all sharing how they keep their users safe on their platform last week on Tuesday when it was Safer Internet Day. So they all had releases talking about all the safety protocols and tools and features that they independently have on their various sites. And then WhatsApp reached 2 billion users. So we all know it's owned by Facebook as well. So they're really keeping those numbers up of the amount of people using their platforms across the world. And then Twitter had a statement stating what they're doing on their part for the U.S. Census that's going to be kicking off here in the United States. So they wanted to let people know how they were going to be regulating information surrounding the census, making sure correct information is given when people search and not the fake news stuff. And then LinkedIn announced some new ad features. And then I wanted to put it in its own separate thing, even though it's part of the news was Safer Internet Day. But Snapchat finally had a release. I had mentioned earlier this year that I was going to start aggregating news from them as well in our weekend reviews, and they just didn't have as much stuff coming out. So they did have a release on a new tool that they are offering called Here For You, which is part of their Safer Internet protocols that they're going to have. And that's similar to news that we've reported on platforms like Pinterest. They're really big when people do certain searches for certain key terms that may be in the more anxiety, depression, suicidal type things. The results that are returned, knocked everything, that are returned are going to be more helpful when those types of searches are made. And then Snapchat also has some new filters coming out. You have to kind of assume if they're going to have any announcements, there's going to be some filters involved. And then they have a new snappable quiz. So that's a new feature with them. And then this week on the Chill Business Journey, I talk all about a relatively new tool on the scene for people that create content in video and audio formats. And that tool is called Searchie, and you can find it at searchie.io. If you go to the show notes page for this week's podcast episode, which is at chilldigitalmarketing.com/54, I have the link there as well. And that is an affiliate link on my on the show notes page. So what is Searchie? Searchie, as I said, is a relatively new tool, and it comes to you by the makers of Tribe. And I have talked about Tribe before. It is an online course teaching small business owners how to create membership sites for the content topic industry that they work in. And they're kind of some high-tech people in that family, the Tribe family, and so they had created a tool to help them because of all the videos they create and the podcasts that Stu McLaren produces, a way to have that information searchable. The written word is searchable by crawlers. That's how things get indexed on the internet. It's how your website gets indexed by Google, Bing, Yahoo, and then those get served as search results because of the written word. And so video and audio has always been relatively hard. Now, it doesn't necessarily help on the search platform and SERP, SERP realm of digital marketing, but it can help you with your audience to be able to find things. So if you were to go to the show notes page for the episode on Searchie, on the right-hand column, let's go this way, there is now a search box that you can use, and it will tell you you can search on a term and exactly in that audio file. And Damian is asking, how's it spelled? It's SEARCHIE.io. And that will take you to the moment in time in any of the data files that I aggregate in it, exactly when I talk about it. So for instance, my podcasts now are all searchable. So if you remember I talked about something 1 month, but you don't know when, you just type in that search term. The example I use is vision boards. So if you type in vision boards, it's going to have all the podcast episodes that I use the word vision boards. And so you can use it for that. Also, I have my membership site where all of the content, I would say 95, if not 99% of the content in my membership site are videos. And if someone was like, oh, when did she talk about that thing? They can now type it in and find the video. And it doesn't only pull up the video, it pulls it up to the timeline within that video or podcast of when I said that term. So it's a great search tool that people can use to have all this content that they've created, whether it's videos or audio files, and people can search it to find the content that you talked about. It's really exciting. I even have a point where all of these weekly live videos, I have a little folder in Searchie that I'm using for it. I just don't know where that's going to live yet. I think in the podcast episode, I talk about maybe creating a page on my website that says all of our live videos, and everything can be aggregated in there and you can search on things. But it's a great tool, and if you are starting to create a lot of video and audio content, it's a great way to get that stuff indexed and searchable. And one cool thing also is all of these files get transcribed. That's ultimately how it's able to do this. So you don't have to pay another party to do transcribing if that's an offer or a feature you want to offer for the content that you create for your audience. All right, so that does it for this week's video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Oh, I do have to give a little disclosure. Next week's video is going to be pre-recorded because I will be heading to San Diego for Social Media Marketing World 20. So I'm excited to be able to head out a little early so I can see my sister and niece and nephew. But I'll still have a video. I'll still have my recaps. Just won't be live because I'll be in the air. My wings will be tired from flying. All right, have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.